Hello, I'm Jim Morningstar, your guide through this 9-session integrative life teacher training series. In this class, we will practice delivering our materials with peers and mentors and prepare ourselves to share this with a sample audience for which it is tailored. Each will create a timeline for their progress that will fit their purpose and goals, as well as select their personal support team. Creating an outline and practicing your material. Suffice it to say, with a bit of common sense and clarity, you'll find great reward in sharing what interests you, not putting on yourself the expectation that you should know it all or be perfectly prepared, but in fact, inviting interaction that spawns mutual learning with people who are interested in experiential education. I found immense satisfaction and growth in this process, and it's gotten easier and more enjoyable with every year. Even more satisfaction comes for me now in supporting others to let their inner teacher out and thrive. So, without further ado, our next task is to create or refine an outline of approximately an hour-long class that you're willing to use for practice teaching. If you already have a longer curriculum in mind, you can use that, or just take one section of your program for the purpose of this practice. Again, this starts with teaching your material to yourself, and then can progress to sharing it with others to the degree that fits for you now. Take handout 3, Practice Teaching Class Outline, and make a rough outline of your desired class. Now, some of you may be starting from scratch. Others already have an outline in mind or elect to use one of the School of Integrative Psychology courses. Whatever your choice, make your own outline for delivery of the material and come back to the video. You can always revise this outline later. Selecting your support team. In the last class, you created your circle of guides. To support you in writing more detail into your class outline, and then to do a practice session with it, take handout 4, Teaching Support Team, and name at least 3 people, spiritual guides and entities, to support you in this process. Include what form of support you would like from each one. For example, technical, sharing their experience, holding positive intentions, just their presence, whatever is useful for you from them. Even if this does not make sense to you, I encourage you to experiment with it and be open to getting support from sources with whom you may not have verbal or physical contact even. Complete this and come back to the video. Your next step will be to flesh out this outline with content, exercises, time for sharing, etc., all of which will easily fill an hour or more. Use whatever paper, notebooks, or computer space needed for your working copy, and just summarize this on handout 5, Teaching Notes. Your final step will be to do a practice run-through of your class with a mentor, fellow student, or someone in your life whom you trust to be supportive in your trial presentation process in the time before next class. When you have completed this, use handout 6, Practice Teaching Results, to summarize what you've learned in the process. The summary includes with whom you shared your practice class, the date and the length of the class, strong points of the class, what you will change or do differently for your final presentation, and main lessons you learned about the topic and about yourself. In our next class, we will further prepare for doing a final presentation in the time after that class. The biggest challenge in all of this is to direct the natural enthusiasm of your life energy into ways that make the process increasingly easy and pleasurable. You may or may not have to go through some hoops to do this. The classroom of life will provide you with exactly what you need to stretch and grow during this time. If you trust this, you will grow in self-trust also. This is not the trust that your mind knows it all, but trust that you are connected to benevolent source for which your mind and body are channels for the flow of this source. Then you have used this project to transform the way you be on the planet. And you have done it in a safe community in which every fear or misgiving can be accepted and released, because we all have them, myself totally included. Each of us is doing our part. There's no mistakes or exceptions. But it is not up to me to convince you of this. It's your own treasure to come here to discover. Better sooner than later. As an integrative life teacher, we are seeking the gratification in learning and teaching a calling that satisfies our soul. Holding you in my heart as fellow travelers on the road home, I send and receive blessings for our circle and all sentient beings till next class. Blessings in light and love.